Hello. Good Friday. Oh, good Friday. Good morning.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Good
Friday.
day. Good day.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We need to do what Gadeen did last week. We need to do a little dance. It's Friday.
Oh yeah, we were gonna play music
I
before.
was going to say, yeah, we should do some music at the beginning.
You know what?
We
I
did talk
actually
about
posted like a little "Are you ready?" in my stories for this, and I was like, and I put that song that. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for this?
That's awesome.
Oh, from Space Jam. Isn't that from Space Jam?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I don't
I think
know.
it's Space Jam. I could be wrong.
It's good pump you up music though. Pump
Yeah.
you up. Yeah.
Yep. Always good to have upbeat music. You bet.
Exactly.
A little Rocky music when you're coming into the ring.
Yeah, right?
You guys will
That'll
just have to
be-
get a playlist together.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that'll be next week's theme.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you bet. There you go.
We'll come in with boxing gloves. Roll.
I have a little pair that's hanging on our Jeep's rear view mirror.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jennifer. I'm coming to you from Northern Alberta. I am a mom. I am a stepmom, well, bonus mom, and I got a few. I don't know how many is there. There's 5 grandkids now. Nope. Yeah, four grandkids. Oh,
Sounds
maybe
like
there's
me
one
when
more
I'm
on the way.
counting my kids. I count my kids by numbers now.
Anyways, I'm a mom, a bonus mom, and a bonus grandma, and I'm loving every minute of it. I'm new to the homeschooling world, and my lovely co-host Charlene is my friend here. And take it away.
I'm Charlene, and I am as well from Northern Alberta up in Grand Prairie. And I count my kids by numbers because we have 7 kids. So I have 6 kids and a bonus daughter. They all range from 24 down to the age of 1. And I as well homeschool, and I love it. And we are loving that it's the Christmas season and all these events are happening. And yeah, that's kind of my life. It's busy, it's chaotic, and I love it.
And I got the pleasure of meeting Vivian this summer. It's not even
Yeah,
last summer.
I know it seems like last summer, okay?
It goes by so fast.
I
But
know.
we were having one of our annual meetups within the community, and her and I got to collaborate on a Family Feud game that we got to play with other fellow business owners when we went to Calgary. So that's how I met Vivian, and we had a blast hosting the game at the event. It was so much fun. We had prizes for people, and yeah, it was so much fun. So that's how I got to meet Vivian, and we'll let Vivian introduce herself a little bit.
Sorry, and I missed. Sorry, I had got cut off there, so I had to come back. My
No,
apologies.
you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Vivian Allen, and we live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and love the prairies. I was never too fond of it at the beginning, but because I moved here from somewhere else, and I'm originally born in Chile, Santiago, Chile. So that is my home country, I guess, if you want to call it. And Canada, of course, we came here when I was a young girl. And so this is obviously home for us. But the prairies is where we ended up. And so we came from tropical weather to prairie weather.
Which changes every 5 minutes.
Yes, that's right. The seasons can change, blink and away you go. It's something else, right? So yes, it's definitely been an experience, but yeah, we love living in the prairies. I've been married for 29 years with my husband, Kent. And we have 3 grown children, and they are now long gone. So we're empty nesters, and we have 2 grandbabies, a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. So we get to enjoy them when they come over. And this behind me here is actually part of my grandson's room. And so we do have the pleasure of being able to see our family quite regularly because they haven't gone too far away, thank goodness. And I think that's it for now. And we have 3 fur babies now. So even though we're empty nesters from kids, they keep us busy. So we've got 2 dogs, a shepherd and a beagle. They're an interesting combination, and a cat that we love dearly. She just turned a year old here in August or September. August.
That's so special.
Exciting. We have 4 cats. We had a dog. She just passed away recently, but we have 4 cats. And as Jennifer and Vivian both witnessed, one of them is my stalker kitty and likes to climb through the rafters and come through the closet. So we'll see what happens during this live video.
Found a way to get to you, hey? Crazy.
It is crazy.
Oh, I know.
If there's a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
They make life
determined.
That's for sure.
We can learn a lot from them with that determination.
Yeah.
Before we hop on here,
we'll come through your rafters.
Before we hop on, my daughter actually messaged me. She's like, "Can you kennel train a cat?"
That's a good question.
Try it and let us know.
If you start early enough, you know.
It's possible. I think they're just as smart as a dog, so I'm pretty sure you could probably kennel train them. Yeah.
He's 4 months old, so he's still a kitten and in all that crazy, busy, playful.
Did you just tell her to Google it?
I can't tell her it's in the training.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have you always lived in Saskatchewan, or have you moved around in the prairies?
No. I have moved somewhere else. Sorry. We lived for a little while, for 5 years of my elementary school life. We lived in Vonda, Saskatchewan.
Oh, wow.
Ever heard of that place?
No.
It's a little town in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And okay, so the funny story. So we were actually in Saskatoon in Canada for 9 months. Mm-hmm. We were just fresh here learning the language, the English language, because we didn't come with a word of English, by the way. It was complete Spanish. We didn't have a word of English. So my parents had to go to community college. We were learning English at school. We had a helper, like a TA that would help us. And 9 months here, and my parents get a job at this little town called Vonda. So they decide to move us there. The school, the one school that was there, French immersion completely.
Oh, wow.
So we now had no choice but to learn the French language and still continue learning the English language while maintaining our Spanish at home. So basically, this is how it went down. We only spoke Spanish at home so that we could keep our language, and our parents were very adamant about that. We only spoke English when we were out and about playing with our friends outside. And then, of course, French was very much only allowed in the school because the teachers always told you to speak French, right? Sure. So 3 languages, boom, boom, boom. That's how it was. So I was immersed into those 2 languages. So my sister and I were like sponges, and we caught on, and we were basically our parents' translators for years because they had a harder time learning, of course. They were in their 30s already. So you can imagine learning a new language in your 30s would be a lot more challenging than for us.
Do you did
live there for a little while.
Speak French? Do you still know and speak French?
I still do know and speak French, however, not nearly as fluent as I am in Spanish and English because I'm not immersed in it anymore.
Yeah.
And there is a difference. Literally, when you are immersed in a language, like if I were to go, let's say, to Quebec and stay there for a good couple of weeks, maybe even a month or whatever, within the couple of weeks, though, I'd already be able to communicate fairly easily because once you're immersed and you've opened up the door again to that language, you're able to, start speaking it and understanding it. I can certainly understand it. And it's a very fast language, just like Spanish. So those 2 languages, with French, I had no problem learning it compared to English because French is very much structured like Spanish. However, English is all over the place. So,
I've heard that from many people.
Yes, not the easiest language to learn, let me tell you. Because
my husband grew up in a French-speaking home. He went to school in only French-speaking. So of course, he spoke English too. But then when he came to Alberta, because he's originally from Manitoba, when he came to Alberta, he didn't lose a lot of his French, but he doesn't speak it as much, so he has lost a little bit of it, but he still understands. And when his family speaks to him in French and stuff like that, he can carry on a conversation and stuff like that. And now our son is interested in learning how to speak French, so it's going to be interesting how that all transitions and see how he picks that up, because he kind of has like a little accent. I don't know where it comes from. He sounds like a little Englishman when he speaks. So, I don't know. It'll be cute. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my goodness.
But it's always good to have a second language.
It is good to have a second language. Absolutely. I did that with my kids as well. They did learn. They went to French immersion when they were younger. So my one daughter actually graduated with 2 diplomas for that reason. The other 2, well, my youngest didn't want to continue after elementary school, and that was fair. So he went to an all English high school after that. And my eldest daughter is special needs, so she had different programs. So it was very interesting. Again, 3 very unique and very different children, and they were all going to different schools.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, those were fun days.
If only as adults we picked up on things as easily as kids do, hey?
I know. And you know what? Any child really at any age can pick up, because that was one thing that I actually had to convince the principal at the one school, because my son ended up leaving for 1 year. He was invited into the Actel program. And when he wasn't happy with that after a year, so we let him go back to his old school, which again was all French. And the principal at the time insisted that, oh no, he's not going to be able to come back now. He's already been gone for the year. And I said, trust me, he will be fine. So they actually had him do a French aptitude test to prove that he could come back to the school. Wow. And I had to go all the way up to the superintendent and fight about this. Anyways, lo and behold, long story short, he did go back with no issues. Just as I said, listen, I came here when I was almost 8 years old and with only 1 language. And if I was able to learn it, so can he. Kids are very, like they're sponges. And even into the early teens, you still can have an easier time learning than your parents.
Yeah. Sounds like our business motto. If I can do it,
right.
You can do it.
That's right, exactly, Charlene. Yes, you're right. I'm going to use that. I never even thought of that, right? Here's learning these languages, and I, have to advocate for my kids too. It's like, no, trust me, kids can learn at a later age. Because that was the other thing. They wouldn't let kids actually start French immersion if they were a little bit older. They would only allow them in French immersion if they started right from kindergarten. So I fought that as well. I actually fought that. And went to the superintendent to fight that and say, you know what, kids can start into grade 2 even and have no problems learning the second language. And guess what? They now do that.
Yeah.
They now allow kids to come into French immersion a little bit later. Again, if I was able to do it and my sister was able to do it, and she's 4.5 years older than I am.
Yeah.
So then how is it possible that other kids here can't do that? So yeah, it just a little bit of convincing and just trusting that we knew what we were talking about. And yeah, that's what they do now. So I'm pretty excited about that change in the school system.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And way to be an advocate, and speak that out, because I mean, it's got to start from somewhere. It's no different no different than anything in our lives, right?
Yeah. Who else is going to advocate for you?
Exactly.
Like, even us as parents or adults, as women, as business owners, who else is going to advocate for us?
That's right.
You have to go through. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to stay strong. And I've been an advocate for so many different things now throughout my life that, you know what, just throw a challenge at me. I'll figure it out.
Oh goodness.
And that's why you're here with us today.
That's right. That's why I'm here.
Not that it's a challenge, but it's definitely something that takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone to really see where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
How far you want to dig.
So you said you and your husband celebrated 29 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Like, that is amazing.
Well, we've known each other for 30, and as I said, I think in one of my posts there was that, yeah, we didn't have a long engagement. We just went for it, which is true. We did. And, and he came into an already made family because I already had my oldest child actually.
Yeah.
And knowing that even though she had special needs, he still took on the challenge. He still was more than happy to be part of our lives, because I always was very, again, an advocate for we come as a package, right? My daughter and I, we come as a package, and this is how it is. And so when we met and we started dating, the first thing he said is like, "Oh, I love kids." And I was like, "Yeah, you sure about that?" Right? Like you always kind of wonder.
Yeah.
But he did. He loved children very much. And then we had 2 after that. And so, yes, we had a very full house. I had 3 kids under the age of 5. And they were actually all still in diapers at one point. And it was definitely an interesting few years. My 2 youngest actually are only 14 months apart.
Oh, wow.
So for the longest time, people thought that I had twins, and it's like, no, they're not twins. They're actually 14 months apart. But oh yeah, that's still pretty close. So, and then my eldest, she went through so many things as a little girl, and so from having a surgery, having an extra toe removed, that's how I found out about her special needs. She has a very rare chromosomal abnormality.
Okay.
But she has done very, very well throughout her life. She's now 31, and she's thriving. She's doing very well. So, but we didn't know at the time what to expect. And so she had to do speech therapy. She had to do physiotherapy. Every type of therapy you can think of, basically, she had to do to get past all her challenges. And she did every time. So it was great. And then with the other 2, they were very hyper children. So yes, it was an extremely challenging time. And so with us being here together still at 29 years, well, let me tell you, there's lots of this, right?
Yeah. So what's your biggest piece of advice for those of us out there that are still youngins in like 10 years of marriage?
Don't expect major changes, and just like the book says, don't sweat the small stuff, because the more you sweat the small stuff, then the more you're going to focus on that, and you're not going to focus on all the good stuff. I mean, we still, have those challenges. That never goes away. And it's just being able to find the time to have those talks that you need to talk, have lots of heart-to-heart talks.
I think it's
And
really
I think that helps.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have a very open and honest line of communication.
That's right. Yes, because we're not by any means perfect, and we have no magic formula for anyone out there. Just accept that, yes, make sure that you're not sweating the small stuff is my biggest one.
Yes,
And
I agree.
One of the things that I was just, as you ladies are talking, I'm thinking here, all 3 of us actually run our businesses with our husbands, but we're the faces of our business.
Yeah. And I think that's one of those things that we've, and I think, again, this was another post, which was quite funny. I got a lot of interaction with the one about how different women think versus men.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not that men can't think just as much as us. It's just we just think differently, and that's where we have to learn to accept each other's skills, or what the other has, the other may not have, and so on. And it's just kind of working together that way. Yeah. So it was quite funny. It's it's that whole women are all over the place because we just tend to multitask. We're just made that way, right? Whereas guys just tend to go that one direction.
Tunnel vision.
That's right.
They have this very closed-minded tunnel vision, and we can see like a bigger picture.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
My husband is like right here. What's in front of me, that's what I see, and I'm like, okay, so 5 years and 10 years and 15 years, and
don't ask me more, right? And we're like, I'm thinking this far and this far in this section, and now you're going into like subsections as well, and we just think differently, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the balance and complementing each other, it actually is really beautiful, because you get to see, especially I've learned this in being a business partner with my husband, is I got to see a different side of him, because he was in the trucking industry for 20 plus years, and we never seen each other. So we went from like barely seeing each other to working full time together.
And that is a big transition too, right? Because my husband used to work, he worked nights, I worked days.
Yep.
The few days that we did actually see each other were not always fun.
Yep.
Because he's trying to put himself back into daytime. By the time he's back to normal that way, he's got to get back to nights again. And it was just never easy on us. Those were very, very challenging years. And then on top of that, where he was, it tended to be a very toxic type of atmosphere on top of it all. So it was just a bad combination. And then coming into the everyday life with kids, and oh my gosh, we had teenagers, I think, at that time too. It was tough. It was definitely tough. And I always had said, this was when I had another interview and they had asked about us working together. And I said, I actually said at one point I would never work with my husband. I could never work with my husband. That's what I said. Well, guess what? Never say never. It happens.
Yeah.
I get lucky. My husband can't turn a computer on. So, so I do it all.
He's really not tech savvy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh, beyond. So, we say anybody can do this business, and our training it would just take him a little longer. And he supports me 100%, but he literally doesn't have to do anything because I do it all and because I can.
Yes.
But he was living and working away for 2 years, and I was here with 5 kids, raising them by myself, and then working full time at some point. And we were only seeing him every 4 to 6 weeks. And yeah, when he came home and he was here, even just after that 4 to 6 weeks, he has to adjust to your schedule.
That's right.
And, it's really hard. When he came back full time, there was a lot of discussion because our marriage was in turmoil. Our family was it was crazy. And there was a lot of discussion, like, you need to do things our way or this isn't going to work because, unfortunately, you've been gone. It's hard. Hard decisions have to be made, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was our biggest why for this business. We struggled a lot during that time. My husband and I, like I said, we were like this close to we weren't going to make 10 years.
Yes. Those first 10 years are really the toughest. They really are. I have to say, if I went back to think about that, those first 10 years are the toughest. Not to say that the next 10 years aren't tough. And then the next 10 years, you know what I mean? But things just start becoming clearer in a marriage. And
growing. And you're either growing together or you're growing apart.
Right. And then if you do feel like you're growing apart, well, that's when you need to come together and have those discussions. And I mean, true heart to hearts, because there's been many marriages where they just, that's it. We call it quits. Yeah. Well, have you really tried everything? Yeah. Kind of like our business, right? Have you really tried everything?
So our business, when I actually first signed into the business, he knew about it. He supported me and stuff, but it was actually like, in my mind, going back to thinking ahead, if we don't make it, I have 5 kids to support.
That's right.
And my full-time job is not going to pay for me and 5 kids. And so when we came into this business, it was very much like me looking at it as, this is my thing moving forward. This is going to set me up, and screw you.
That's right. Yeah.
Lack of better term.
Yeah.
I'm going to be ready. And, it's probably saved our marriage.
Yeah.
It taught us so much about being honest and open, communicating, the positivity, the support in the community, in our team. It really changed our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's changing those perspectives, right? And again, like you said, finding your why, and then your why changes.
Yeah.
The why that we start necessarily the business with isn't always the why 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and so on and so on. We evolve our why just as much as our business evolves and as much as our technology evolves around us, right? So it just kind of all works together. Yeah. It's just making sure that you find that right balance.
Yeah. You can see that in people's pages as you follow their journeys when they first start in the business and they grow their business and they grow their teams. You can really see them evolve. It's so fun to watch.
It is.
Love it.
It is exciting to see that, and learning from them. Right. And that's the nice thing again with our business, is that we're all learning from each other. Like, we're not even in the same call it.
Yeah, we tell people that every week. Jennifer and I have no connection at all.
No connection whatsoever. And yet we can still support each other. We network, we are there for each other no matter what, because we all want to be able to grow, right? Exactly. It's not just about growing in our business, but growth here, right? Just knowing that you are becoming a stronger, more confident, and getting yourself out there and getting out of your head, all these things that has really just helped so many of our successful online business partners as well. Yeah. And so we see that and we learn from that.
It's really nice to see, because
stopped again.
When you work online, people think that you're alone. Yeah. And, it's not like that. It's very much, if you find the right opportunity and find the right community, then I think we might have lost Vivian.
She'll probably be back.
There she is.
She's back.
Hi, Vivian.
I didn't hardwire my laptop, and I probably should have done that. So I'm just on Wi-Fi, and I think it's probably in the area. There's lots of stuff going on and it's kicking out. Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. We were just talking about how online you'd think you'd be working alone, and you'd think you'd be figuring this out alone. And I've never felt more alone than at my office job. Yeah. Or when I was working as a cashier, or when I was doing event planning. I never felt more alone than there.
I agree.
I have not felt that with this business at all from day one.
Yep. And even when maybe we don't have an opportunity to meet in person, there's this wonderful technology like we're doing right now to get to know each other. I mean, we were fortunate with Jen that we were able to meet in person when we did. It just turns out it worked out for both of our schedules, and we were able to be there at the same time.
Yep. And then when
it stopped again.
Oh, no.
It's right here.
Oh. But I was just going to say, when we travel to Manitoba to go visit my in-laws and stuff, we can always stop in Saskatoon and have a visit, because we travel through there. So.
Well, there you go. That's, and that's the other thing too, is just finding the time to do a little bit of traveling and just going to see other business partners all across Canada, right?
Yeah.
I love that we can pop a message in our community and just say, hey, I'm in the Edmonton area, or hey, I'm in Saskatoon, and tons of people come out of the woodworks and say, let's get together. Let's have a group gathering. Let's have a meet at the park or go for coffee. And there's people that'll just be like, stay here. Like, I don't know. I got 5 kids. You don't really want me there.
Arlene's going, I need a break. Where are we having it up?
Actually, maybe I will come and leave you with the younger ones. Well, the older ones work. So you guys.
Oh, it's so cute, because we've met up with other with people, and they've got kids, and you know what? It's hilarious. Just I really commend. Well, for you ladies who have smaller ones at home right now, like I don't know how I would have done that with small kids. I really don't. I don't know how to do that with small children. So I really look up to you moms that have the kids at home and are making a go of this business, because I'm not that brave, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're brave. And with everything you've done, you would be able to do it. Your adaptability to things, you would do it no problem. It would be smooth sailing for you.
And it's like they always say, when your why is strong enough,
True. Yeah, no, that's true.
I feel like your why was strong enough.
Yeah, it would have probably worked out as well then, right? But yeah, I'm just thankful that there are so many different people in our business, right?
From variety.
young moms to older moms to the grandparents to, highly educated people
People
to,
just starting out in
people that
life.
just went to high school to the very non-tech savvy people. I mean, the amazing variety that we have in this business. I've never seen it before, because when you go to your job, everyone's at a certain level, right? Everyone must be at a certain level. Everyone must have the certain education. And it's just so cut, dry, and black and white, right?
That's why I left insurance.
There you go. Yeah. See?
Yeah. I hit the top of my pay scale. And in order to go higher, I had to take a course and become licensed and cry in my office like everybody else.
Yeah.
And we had Flex Fridays, which was and beer fridge Fridays. And so they would get together and socialize the last half hour and have a drink. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here. People are stressed.
Yes. Because all you heard was the rants.
Yeah, exactly. So that was
you take that home with you though.
Yeah, it's really hard to shut off. It's one thing to go to a job and do stock.
Yeah.
And just push out the stock and and do shelving or whatever. It's a whole other ball game when you go to a job where you have to mentally be with it and then shut that off and go home.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Kudos to social workers and teachers and doctors, and I couldn't do it because
I couldn't do that either.
Yeah,
I had actually thought about being a teacher once upon a time.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time shutting off my insurance brain to come home, when I was working.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I did one summer of summer camps, and that was plenty for me. And that's when I said, nope, not going into teaching. I commend those teachers, but it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah.
Nope.
I just had that
Summers off is not gonna be my thing. Nope.
I just had that conversation with Joel too about that's one thing that I don't miss that since he's no longer been in the trucking industry is him coming home and spending our time together with him bringing that work stuff home.
Yeah.
Because that was the hardest part, hard on him as a person, but also hard on our family as a whole because it was constant negativity all the time and then he was left never knowing, he had dispatching his life, even though he had a set schedule, it was never set. It was always moving. So we never were able to do anything together.
Yeah.
Even when we planned it. And so I don't miss that at all.
Yeah.
I am
and it just lingers and it follows you everywhere you go, right?
Yeah. And
even if you try to get away from it.
Yeah. And now he's almost 2 years. In April, it'll be 2 years since he hasn't been in the trucking industry. And I've seen a huge shift in him personally in everything. Not to mention he's living his best life.
Yeah. I know. I see that all the time. You just got news to news.
It's like, where's Joel? Oh, he's over doing something over there.
Yeah, that's right. With a smile on his face that you probably haven't seen in a long time. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
too.
It's nice because I don't think there's been a time in this business that I've walked away and went, oh,
right.
After our team meetings, I am pumped. After our masterminds on Wednesday,
Yeah.
I am either pumped or in tears,
Right.
but happy tears and excited tears, and especially the 5-year anniversary.
Oh man, that
was
amazing. I loved how they did that 5-year anniversary. I think that was really well put together, well thought out, and
it was beautiful.
Just even made me feel more proud to be part of this business. So
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm still riding the high from it last week. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was walking on the clouds all week long.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. I loved it. I loved how they did it. And the fact that we have a new platform as well. Oh my gosh. I love it. Love it.
Right. Game changer.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
I like how interactive it is.
It is.
They're always putting the business owners first.
Yes.
Always. in every aspect.
They're
right?
always thinking ahead, and they're always making sure that we are informed.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. One of the number one things that I love about our business is the transparency.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Right from the top to the
Yeah.
bottom. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be a top or a bottom, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
transparency is there 100%.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it because our founders are there every step of the way.
Oh, for
They
sure.
are there at every point in the background, making sure that everyone is safe, everyone is inspired and supported and motivated every step of the way. And you don't get that. I mean, if I go work at a retail store, my supervisor might say, "Hey, great job." But do you think I'm going to hear that from the CEO of the company?
You're never going to meet them.
No, exactly. Yeah. Whereas we have such a close-knit, tight community. And Liz, she just said in the chat, the Whoop Challenge. So Liz is actually part of our Spark team.
Oh.
And she said the Whoop Challenge really opened her eyes, and our Spark team inspires me. And our team has become a family. And it's not just our team. Like our bubble has grown exponentially, and our family is our entire community.
That's right.
At absolutely any point, I can reach out to almost any one of them with anything, and they are there.
Yeah.
Like a tree, it's got a very solid trunk.
Yeah.
And so many branches that you can go from one branch to the other and still feel that you're part of that tree.
Exactly.
I was saying to Karen, who is coming on with us in a few weeks, Karen Seaton. She is actually my mentor and coach. And I was saying to her, like, people don't understand how deep our roots go in this business.
Yeah. That's right.
Like our family tree is massive in this business.
And it just keeps growing and growing. And again, that trunk gets bigger and bigger and more solid, right?
Yeah.
That's not something you see anywhere else.
No.
Yeah. When we become business owners, 3.5, almost 4 years in February, it's going to be 4 years. And there was 3,000 people in the community, and we are over 100,000. And the evolution from then till now is mind blowing. Like I have never seen that. I mean, I've worked in other places for this amount of time, and I've never had so much growth in that amount of time at another job.
You always see fluctuations.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And sometimes that dip is there and it stays there. Absolutely. With the economy that we have now, especially, I mean, that's all you see.
Yeah.
Yet we are growing within it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're thriving in one of the scariest times in a lot of people's life right now.
Absolutely.
So much unknown. But here we are, and we're just growing and growing.
Yeah. And we've had our biggest months.
Yeah.
That's right.
Our biggest successes have been during the pandemic. So
that's right.
Yeah. It's amazing. It blows my mind. And one of the things too is I see like our son, he's 10, and I see the way it's changed him having us at home, you know, being able to homeschool him, but be there for him in the present time. And it's scary for him too.
Absolutely. And you're there to be able to be his rock.
And I've never seen him thrive so much than I have in the past 2 years.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
I agree with what Liz said. There's so much negativity out there right now.
Yes.
And it's really nice to have, we meet weekly. Every week we meet twice a week. Yeah. And it's really nice because it helps keep you grounded.
Oh, for sure.
Our teams and our community and our training really helps to keep myself grounded. And when I feel like I'm going down that rabbit hole, something with our community or our team or our page or, you know, our Fridays with friends brings that light bulb back.
That's right.
You know,
and that's what you've got to do. And this is why you know, they encourage us to stay plugged in. There's so many ways to stay plugged in with the business. There's really just no excuse for shutting yourself into this, your own little bubble. Don't stay in your own little bubble. Reach out, get to know people, you know, be interactive. That's going to be the biggest part of growing your business is being interactive with those already in it.
Yeah.
So that, again, we all grow together and we learn from each other.
Nothing changes if you change nothing, right?
There you go. Perfect saying.
Well,
yeah, thank you for tuning in and sharing your morning with us, or your afternoon, or your evening, wherever you're tuning in from.
I'm only an hour behind, or sorry, an hour ahead. Sorry.
all these time changes, who knows? Before we go, did anybody stay up for the eclipse last night?
There was an eclipse last night?
There was. And it was so neat. So we have this little telescope, and we found the moon through our telescope. It looked really cool, and you could see like the shaded parts. And then at some point, you could see with the naked eye, it was red. It was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
It was actually cloudy here last night, so you could see the light coming through, but I mean, we would never have seen it that clearly. When was that?
It was last night. So for us, it started after midnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it started after midnight. I was up until 3:00 this morning with my kids.
Oh my goodness!
Because it was completely covered sometime after 2 a.m.
Oh,
and then finished by 5:03. Yeah, so it was the longest lunar eclipse in 588 years or something like that. So yeah, so my kids are like, we have to stay up and watch it because I won't be there next time. I'll be dead. And my kids' will be watching it, but I won't be there. I'm like,
I'll be dead.
Fine.
Watch it now.
We'll stay up all night.
Did you guys film a little bit of it, or did you take pictures as well?
I tried to take pictures, but I need to get a camera. I don't have a camera. I just have my phone. And we have on our telescope a little phone holder, but we couldn't get it to focus properly. I don't know. Cool. So
it is one of those things that can be a little tricky. We actually know somebody who does a lot of those pictures. He's got like the whole setup. So I bet you he put something on his Facebook that I haven't seen yet. But I'm going to have to go and take a look and share that. He loves it when I share his stuff as well. I'll definitely have to share his information because he goes out there and stays all night to get the perfect pictures. He's that guy.
Some really nice pictures floating around.
Yeah, his name is Tim Jaworski. He's amazing. He's amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Liz said, I had a really low 6 weeks and it was so helpful being part of the team.
Oh, that's awesome. It's so great to see when people do come and say, I was, not feeling it. And then I talked to someone and boom, I was able to just make a 360 turnaround. And that's exactly it. And that's what we do as well. Like I have one of our business partners here. I'm sure you guys know Michelle Rogers.
Yeah.
You've heard of her. Yeah. So her and I have really, really bonded throughout this through the business. If it hadn't been for the business, we never would have met. And I'm so thankful each and every day for knowing her and just being able to be there for each other at our high times, at our low times. And so, yes, it's just finding that person or that group, that team, whatever, and just, again, engaging, right?
Yeah. And Liz has been Liz, you've been amazing because she's stayed plugged in every step of the way while she had life happening in the background. So
that's the way to be.
It's a really beautiful thing to watch.
Yes. Yeah. And that's just it. See, no matter what happens in our lives, our business will always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll always be
through it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's 100% bonus that you would not have anywhere else either. Because sometimes when you fall at your lowest, all of a sudden you may not have a job to come back to.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd like to take 6 weeks off of my 9 to 5, please. No. I mean, really, you can't go into your boss and ask for 6 weeks off. You'd have to take some sort of a leave. And
you have to take a leave. You got to get permissions. You've got to go through the whole paperwork. And again, as I said, no guarantee you're going to come back to something because it has happened.
Yeah.
Exactly. We started this business actually at one of the lowest points in our life. It was something that happened, and we decided we literally needed something different because of the situation we were going through, and I had to be present at home, but I still had to work. I still had to find something that I could contribute to our family. And this business was our saving grace in so many ways. So wholeheartedly, I'm a lifer.
And you hear that so much in our testimonials, in our masterminds, as we hear our success stories and so on. You hear it so much where a lot of people were going through some really rough times and the business was there for them. And that's what you want. You want to be able to something to fall back on.
Yeah. Hi, Aladdin.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yes. Burnout. That's another one. Thanks, Liz. You brought that up. Burnout is a big one. Yes. I did experience that as well. It's got better for sure. But I'd have to say that burnout is very much real.
Yeah.
When you've got a lot of responsibilities.
And it comes with a stigma. It's not recognized. It's unless you have a really good manager or a really good company that you're working for.
Yes.
It's really hard to find a company that will recognize the fact that their staff is burnt out. And
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
It's really great to have this. I mean, I have 6 kids at home. I've got a couple working. I usually travel with 3 to 5 of them. And
what are the age ranges of your kids, Charlene?
24 down to 1.
Wow.
Yeah. So my husband's oldest is 24. And then together we have 18, soon to be 19, 16, 11, 9, 5, soon to be 6, and 1.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, and we, like Jennifer said, we homeschool, and life can be so chaotic. And I mean, life alone can leave you feeling burnt out, let alone having a job or a business to run on top of it.
That's right.
But I don't get that with this business, because it fits into our schedule in every little nook and cranny that we have to put it in.
You control it.
Yeah, and my kids are a huge part of my business. They help with our page. They help do videos. They help do ads and posts and come up with ideas. And they watch the masterminds, and they love it.
Yes, I got to help. Actually, I got to turn to my grandson to help me snip some videos. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
9 years old. He's the one to help, right? Yeah.
We're doing TikTok now. I was like, what? My girls are like, well, you go here and you do this, and then we've got to do this, and don't forget this. And Mom, let me show you. You're not doing it right, like
you're not doing it right, and you're not doing it fast enough either.
I know.
Right.
They'll be running our businesses in no time, ladies.
Exactly. So there you give them a title. They can be the video coordinators.
Yeah. Actually, it's part of our homeschooling.
There you go.
We have it set up so the kids really wanted to help with YouTube and help with the videos and stuff. So it's actually part of our homeschooling.
Oh, wow.
We take videos and help create videos and do things like that. So
how cool is that?
Talk about multitasking.
I agree with Liz. She is a busy mom, and she's incredibly amazing. I tell her all the time, I'm living my life vicariously through you. And I want to be like you when I grow up.
And then you said that to me the other day. I had a good chuckle. Because then it's so funny, because then I look at Jennifer. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go sledding and fishing, and I want to do all this stuff that you're doing. So, yeah.
And that's just it again, right? You kind of look at everybody's lives and go, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what? We will at our own time, because we're all on our own journey as well.
Yeah.
So it might look a little bit different for everybody, but we're all enjoying it in our own time, in our own way, with our own families, and just, again, having that control over your time.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it really boils down to is time, because at any given moment, you don't know when it's going to be taken away from you. So live in the moment. And
absolutely.
Embrace the chaos and just love it, and it doesn't really matter. The rest of it doesn't really matter.
It just doesn't. And that's why, and again, that was the post I had a couple of weeks where we found out we lost a cousin tragically to a car accident, and she was only 54. She had a full life ahead of her.
Yep.
And, finally my sister and I kind of woke up and thought, oh my gosh, we have not connected with our cousins we had, but not as much as we should have. And so now we've made that a priority. It's just got to be a priority. And we were so thankful to actually just have a Zoom here with a couple of our cousins. We're going to be growing it a little bit more here next week, and we're going to have a few more on at the same time, and then we'll have more one-on-ones as well. So one, it reconnects us. Thank God for technology. Second, it continues to let us have our language and practice it and share our experiences. One of my whys at the moment, actually, just literally, that's an addition now, is my one cousin's got a little boy. His name is Santiago, and he is fascinated by snow. He's never seen it, right? And they always see snow in Christmas movies and so on, and they always wonder what it's like. And it started making me think. I'm like, I am so fortunate. I have seen tropical. I have been to all the different seasons and so on. And I now live in the prairies. Yes, we may have some brutal winters, but I look at all of that as a positive because I have experienced it all. And it's amazing how some people go, wow, I've never seen that before, and how much they want to see it. And you know what? I'm going to bring him here. I'm going to bring him here, and I want him to experience it just as much as I did as a child and see it through his eyes all over again. Yeah. I think that would be wonderful. So that's an addition now to my why. So excited.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
you have such a warm heart.
Yeah.
I just, it opens up my eyes to new things all the time. Yeah. And it's amazing how some of these experiences, the unfortunate things that happen to our lives, we just need to find that positive spin. Yeah. And that's what, Kent and I always talk about, is finding the positive spin to any negatives out there. There's no reason why we can't find the positive. There's always, black or white, right? There's always that difference. Well, same thing with the positives and negatives. Don't make the negatives your focus. Take the positives with it.
Yeah. There's always not necessarily a silver lining, but there's always a lesson or something that we can take away. They always, you always hear we grow most when we're challenged, when we struggle, and that's huge. And I've seen that in my kids because we've struggled so much in the past. We've struggled financially, again, with our relationships within our family, and the growth in our children. It's hard to see it in yourself, but when you can look at your kids or other people and you're kind of an outsider looking in, it's amazing what you can actually take away from those challenges.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Have a good weekend, Liz. We in 2015, I think it was, I was working in retail as an assistant manager, and my manager at the time, her husband got cancer, and within 3 weeks he was gone. And he's the same age as my husband is now. So that, right from that day, because he was so young, I said, you're going to be, just in a few short years, that could be you.
That's right.
What are we? And his biggest regret was that he, didn't get to spend more time with his kids. And I said to him, my husband, I was like, I'm not living this life anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're going to live the life that we want now, and we're going to start creating a life for the kids because
And it's taking that and being aware, because there's others that may see that situation completely different than you, right?
Yeah.
And then they go down that rabbit hole and just never find their way out.
Yeah.
I think with this business as well, because we're always talking about mindset, it teaches us to look at things differently.
Yeah.
It really just teaches us to go in that direction, going upwards, not downwards.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation.
It's interesting how death gives us a different perspective on life. Mm-hmm. When for my husband and I, both of our dads passed away. My dad was 1 month shy to his 50th birthday. Yeah. And my husband's dad was in his early 50s. And when it took me, I realized that, and even my daughter's dad was in a tragic car accident, and he was in a coma for 6 weeks and passed away. And then it took me up until my sister's passing to really, that hit home. And that was like, wow, this, like, time has never been more precious than it has right now.
That's right.
She literally went away on a holiday and never came home.
And when you
never
you
know.
get them back. Yeah.
And that was my kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Was like, I need to do something different, and I need to take every moment for the moment. And my family was always my driving force, but my family was never more of my driving force for what I do every day than it had been in that moment.
That's right.
And that was my kick in the butt, that I needed to do something different. I just didn't know where, how, what it was going to be. And we prayed for that. We prayed for it to happen, and it just showed up in our newsfeed and said, here you go. If you see this.
That's exactly right, because you were looking for it, right? You were searching. You could see it. You just didn't know what it looked like. And then, boom, it showed up.
Yeah. And
time is that one resource we don't get back.
Exactly. And so, yeah, that's been, even though like a little bits of our why, like we talked about earlier, has changed and it's evolved and stuff over the past almost 4 years, that driving force is still the same, is my family, the time with my family, those moments with my family, right? Yeah.
Exactly. No, 100% agree there.
Yeah.
And we don't, you know how they always say though too, it's kind of funny because they say we don't get to choose our family. Yes, we do. We have our family, but we also have this family. So we have to choose family. So that saying is gone for me. We do get to.
I agree with you. I agree with you so much. And Charlene too. She says all the time that her family, is this business.
That's right.
They were the first
ones into your family. That's right.
We don't have a lot of relationships or close relationships with our family, and it's the one thing that we lack on. It's a huge area that we lack on in our life, and our Spark family has 110% been that family. Through the ups and the downs. I mean, we had a baby and he's known as the Spark baby, and we announced to them first, like they were the first ones to find out, and hands down family. Yeah. I will shout that from the roof.
So awesome. Yeah, that's so awesome to hear. I love it.
So we're going to wrap up on a positive note with how much appreciation we have for each other and the community that we're in, and all of the support and love that we get every single day from every direction, because really it does come from every direction if you look at it, even if it doesn't come from the people that we think that it should.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, ladies, for inviting me this Friday. I'm super thankful for having me here. It's so much fun. Continue doing this. My gosh, everyone's just going to love these talks, and hopefully they get something out of it. If we can just change one person's life by just sharing our stories, then we've already succeeded, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. And it was so nice meeting you, Vivian.
Absolutely. And maybe real soon we'll meet in person. You never know.
We will be.
There's you bet. We will.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in
again, and be able to spend some time together.
And thanks for all the comments and for following all our pages. You can find all our information right down there on the bottom of our screen.
That's right.
And, next week, again, we'll have another guest, 9 a.m.
Same time, same place.
Yeah, same bat time, same bat channel for you people that are not young enough to.
I love it.
Hopefully the people watching understand the reference.
All right.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great one. See you.